few notes. Once again, so glad you are all here. It's been so much fun. Thank you, all of the committees that have done so much. It's been a great get-together so far. A good homecoming for those of us to see our friends again. So now we're going to talk about things the board has been working on. And really for the past 18 months or so, we've been receiving questions from Nomads members. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to do with all this stuff that's going on with the Methodist Church? What are we going to do? And we've basically up to this point told you we're going to stay true to our mission. So I want us to read together this mission statement. Here we go. Rebuilding lives, homes, and facilities with God's love in our hands. Thank you. Now let's look over here at our vision statement. Fulfilling needs through Christ's love. That's what we've been telling you. And that's what I want to tell you again today. That's what we want to keep doing. So many of you have come to me and said, I just want to keep what I'm doing. I just want to keep on doing projects. I just want to keep on doing what we're doing. And I totally agree with you. That's what we want to provide for you. So we've been working on how to best facilitate that. And as a board, we've put a good deal of work into doing that. So I want to share that with you today and to what your board has decided is the best path for us going forward. Now we have to remember in all of this that we are an organization of many denominations. We have Lutherans and Episcopalians and Baptists and Catholics and on and on and on. And we love you all, okay? I think that's one of the beautiful things about our organization is that we do have a diversity of denominations in our organization, and we want to keep it that way. We also want to explain a little bit this morning to those of you who are not United Methodist about where some of this is coming from. But it certainly is not the entire impetus of what we are suggesting of how we move forward. And let me explain that. Yes, unfortunately, the Methodist Church is having a lot of issues right now. And there are a lot of them. There's not one issue. There's a number of issues going on with the United Methodist Church. And that breaks my heart because I've been a United Methodist since it originated, and I was a Methodist before then. And so, it hits home for me. We have a lot of Methodist churches, United Methodist churches, that are going through a process where they're going to determine if they're going to remain United Methodist. We have already had a number of churches that are not United Methodist anymore, and they're joining some other Methodist denomination, or they're becoming independent. And that's sad to me. Yeah, I think God wants us to. Anyway, but as a board, we had to take off our United Methodist hat and put on our Nomads hat, because we're trying to do what's best for this organization at this point. So, personal feelings aside, how do we continue to enable you to do what you want to do, which is get out there and fulfill our mission, because that's what we want to do. We want to provide you a way to do that. First, let me say that we have been in contact with an attorney in New York. We are a New York corporation. We are a 501c3 corporation, which means we're non-charitably approved by the federal government, and we can accept donations and they're tax deductible. So we're a 501c3 corporation that was founded. Our certificate of incorporation comes from New York State. So we contacted a New York attorney, and I've had somebody come up and say, how much is that costing you? So I've had more than one person come up and ask me that, and we don't keep secrets in Nomads. So it's going to be $1,000 to do what he has done for us and will continue to do for us if we move forward. But 648 or 78, I forgot to write that down. But the vast majority of that $1,000 is actually for filing papers with the state of New York. We have got to have him do some paperwork for us regardless of how we move forward. Our address of record isn't correct anymore. We have several things that need to be updated in our official legal paperwork with the state of New York. And so filing cost for filing with the Secretary of State and then the organization that handles all the corporation stuff is going to be between $600 and $700. So he's basically, we're $300, and you know, this guy's an expensive attorney. He's basically doing it pro bono, but we're going to pay a little bit. So I really appreciate him. So with his guidance and the board's prayerful consideration, I want to share with you what a little more. What we know and what we found out by having him review our documents was that our former boards have positioned us wonderfully. We can basically determine our own destiny. We are not affiliated with the United Methodist Church from the standpoint like a church is affiliated with the United Methodist Church. There's all this stuff out there about people that are disaffiliating and all this stuff going on. We can't do that because we're not like them, okay? So we don't have to do any of that stuff. We are a separate 501c3 and we are completely independent. We are in charge of our own funds. The United Methodist Church can't tell us what to do. They can't take our funds. They can't. We are just as the volunteers and mission groups that have established for the 5 jurisdictions as independents. We are an independent agency. So the people going before us who set up all this stuff left us in a very good place. And I'm very, very thankful for that because there was much concern about our endowment funds. And, you know, we're going to lose our endowment funds if we make any changes and if we're not, whatever. So we have no worries with that. So that was a very good news to us. So once we determined that, now it is, okay, so how can we best continue to serve all our agencies in light of what's going on? We have in our corporate paperwork that we serve United Methodist organizations. Specifically says United Methodist. So the board feels at this time, and just want you to know that several staunch United Methodists on the committee, and it's hard for us to come up with this, but it's recommended now that we, in order to maintain our current agencies, ones that are leaving the United Methodist Church and ones that are staying, that we will recommend that we change our name. Don't slay me. We believe at this point in time that, and are recommending that we will become Methodist Nomads, not United Methodist Nomads. Want you to know, number one, we are taking no sides in any of the stuff going on in the United Methodist Church. Quite honestly, it's not our business. It is my business only to the extent that I'm a United Methodist, and when I am in my home church, I have input into that. You guys, we have been asking you for a long time to, we don't talk politics, and we ask you to don't do that. We're coming up on election season. That's not good for team building, and me talking about and raging on about what's going on in the Methodist Church when I'm at a team meeting isn't beneficial either, because the only place I have any voice is through my home church, and that's the same with all of us. So we're not taking sides. It's up to the United Methodist Church members to decide what they are going to do. We don't get a vote because we're not part of that process, okay? So we ask you to let us change the name of our organization, and we will be Methodist Nomads, and we feel like that recognizes and honors our tradition, that we are faith-based, and we make no bones about it. When we're doing the conversations with new members, I tell them, we're unashamedly a Christian organization. And so by maintaining the Methodist there, that sort of lets people know we are a faith-based organization up front. And that's who we are, and that's who we want to stay. We love Jesus. And we want to help people out. I told somebody one day, I said, I just want to love people. I love Jesus, and I want to love people, and I just want you to let me go help them. That's the mission. Part of our mission statement in our corporate documentation is that it's the responsibility of the board to provide you with mission opportunities, and that's what we want to do. We believe that we want, there's people leaving the Methodist Church, and those churches or camps or whomever are people we love. They're people that have been great agencies for us over the years. And we think it's best, if we can, that we continue to serve them. They still need us. Our camps need us more today than they've ever needed us. My gosh, with COVID, they just had such a tough time. And we want to keep being there for them. A tremendous number of the churches, the camps, are forming separate 501c3s. They have their own board of directors, and they are now no longer United Methodist. They are no longer United Methodist camps. They are church camps. They want to remain true to what they've done all along. They want to keep having their summer camps for their youth, giving them guidance, but they really have no input from their church conference anymore because the church conference doesn't fund them. They are completely independent. We want to keep serving these guys. Well, they aren't technically United Methodist anymore. We have churches there the same way. We have other agencies that we will no longer be able to service unless we make some changes. One of those will be our name. The other is that we will change in our corporate documentation that we work for Methodist organizations, okay? That broadens us. It will be historically Methodist organizations and our ecumenical partners. So that will allow us to continue to work with the people we've been working with. It will also allow us, if we have the membership and the capabilities, to expand who we serve. okay? There's lots of Methodists out there. And, you know, there may be a day where we want to take that out and put some other verbiage in that will allow us to stay Christian, stay our focus on our mission, but to open up to more agencies. Right now, we don't feel that we have the membership, that we're ready to just open up, because we've had members come up and say, we just need to be able to work for all these 501c3s. There are so many charitable organizations that we could work for. There's so many places we could go, and that's true. But we have 800 people. And we don't all work projects every day and every week. So we don't have the staff to manage a huge onslaught of new agencies at this point, and we don't have the numbers to handle that either. You know, we've got lots of openings for next project. We need 20 more rigs, I believe, to fill them up. And you know, there's no point in us taking on a lot of agencies that we then have to cancel projects. And we do want to try and have somebody else ask me this, you know, what about if we start taking new people? What about the agencies we have? We don't want to lose the agencies we have. We have good relationships with them. We have good partnerships with them. We are mission partners with them, and so we want to continue that. We will still have Board of Global Ministries. You know, we'll continue to serve. Except I hear she's going to retire. At least, yeah. So whomever is in her position is going to continue to serve on our board as an ex officio member, because that's a mission partnership that we want to maintain. We may put some more ex officios on if we start working with other groups that are significant and that we want to feel like we want to invite them to serve as an ex officio on our board. That's down the road. But by making some changes, taking out that we only serve United Methodists, and so every time in our bylaws it says United Methodists, it'll say Methodist now. We will be Methodist Nomads. And we'll change the purpose statement that says that we're going to serve Methodist, historically Methodist organizations. Hold on just a minute, I want to be sure I don't miss telling you anything. So I'm going to check my notes. So I told you about our current bylaws and that. So our name's going to change. I have, and our plan will be that we will send out this information to the entire membership in a mass mailing. And because this requires a change in our corporate documentation, our bylaws, it requires a vote of the entire membership. So you will get to vote. We plan to get that vote live on Monday after Carla gets back to the office and has time to work her way through all the stuff that's going to be waiting on her there. So hopefully sometime soon, there will be an opportunity for you to start voting. And we want all the membership to vote. If this is not the direction you want us to go, then you need to let us know that. But we really, with a lot of prayer and hard work, feel that this is the best way for us to continue working for the agencies that we've been working with. And that's where we want to go with this. And that hopefully will be live Monday, not Monday, by Tuesday. Much to my chagrin, this conversation is being videoed right now, and there will be a link available to that so that the entire membership will be able to hear, since we aren't the greatest at reading what Carla sends out. Just saying, there's a lot of those weekly emails that don't ever even get opened, right? So there will be a link available so that all the membership can be part of this conversation. They had to talk me into that. I'm just not looking over there at the camera, I'm sorry. This, we would appreciate your prayerful consideration. It will say on that email, it will give you the verbiage as it is currently in our legal documents and the verbiage that we want to change. You will simply vote yes or no. It's an up or down decision. Requires 2/3 of our membership's approval to pass, because that's what it takes to change our bylaws. Always has been, always will be, I guess. That it takes a 2/3 vote to change bylaws. Because you don't want to go around doing things willy-nilly. It takes, we need to really consider what we want to do and then move forward. We are hoping that you will vote yes. And if you don't, it's Jack's deal. Just saying. No. I have promised Jack that I will continue my communications with the attorney and all that, because I've been doing that, and I will continue to do that. To finish up and get this done. I saw a hand. Yes, ma'am.
What happens to our logo specifically across?
Okay, we will have to change that. We can't keep the same cross and flame, but that's not our first logo. We've got that one back there. We've done that before. We have one of your board members has agreed to. It's going to take. This is not going to happen immediately. You're going to have your standard 30 days to vote. That's what on the bylaws change. You get 30 days. Hopefully, you'll take care of that quickly. But you've got 30 days to vote. After that point, when that decision is made, it will be announced to the membership. If it is an affirmative, then we get that information to the attorney. It can take a couple of months for that legal documentation, for it to be stamped, approved by the state of New York. And we have to get an approval for making these changes. He says that's just routine, it won't be any question, it'll be approved. But we have to wait for that before we start making changes. At that point, yes, we'll be changing bank accounts, we'll be changing logos, we'll be changing, and that's gonna be a stepwise process. We can't do it all overnight. There's been talk on the board that we could have a contest because we have so many talented and creative people, we could have a contest for a new logo. I don't know exactly when all that's going to happen, because I'll be off the board by then. Just saying. I am actually very apologetic. I've apologized to Jack that we haven't gotten this done. I would love to just have it finished and wrapped up under my watch, but rather than leave things hanging that he's got to deal with. But this took a lot of soul searching, a lot of angst on everybody's part, and so it took time. It wasn't something I felt like we should rush. Yes, sir.
I just want to say something because of hearing you say about the anguishing. I've been a United Methodist pastor for 38 years, and I feel just as you do about the sorrowness about the church. We have one God, and we serve Him, and that's what this is about. And I want you to know that I personally appreciate what you and the board has done. And I think God will bless this organization, whatever we're called. And I think that the majority of us here want you to know, well done, good and faithful.
That means a lot. I just hate it really badly. I had to stand up here today and do this. You know, I feel like this was not an issue of our own making. This, okay. I promised I was not going to cry. We have struggled with this so hard. And it was a hard decision. But I was very appreciative when the board voted unanimously to move in this direction. And I hope that our organization will move forward in this way. You know, I want to see that this organization is my passion. This is what God called us to when Max and I retired. We certainly had no intentions of either one of us ever serving as leaders or board members or any of that when we joined Nomads, because we just wanted to do our project. We just wanted to love people. We just wanted to help people get back in their homes. We were passionate about our disaster rebuild program, and we just wanted to share Jesus with people. We want to let people know that they're not forgotten, that they're loved, and all of those things. And so we didn't have any idea we would get involved in this, but it was God called us to do it. It was a God thing. It was a God thing when we joined, and when we joined, and then when we were approached about the board, it was strictly, you know, God, if that's what you want us to do, we'll do our best. And that's what I'll say to you is, you know, you may not agree with this. It may hurt a lot, but your board has done their best. And I just appreciate them so much, because this wasn't yeah, I dealt with the attorney, but you know, this is your board, and this is what we've come up with, and we hope you can support it. Okay, ready?
I just have a quick question. It's actually not a question, it's a thought going forward. We were told a while ago that there's like less than half of us are Methodists, or Methodist, whatever we're gonna be called. And we need more members. And so with Methodist and Nomads, we'll have to think about how we make sure that potential new recruits don't think that this is just a Methodist organization, or just, you know, because I know there's people of all denominations.
Good point. We probably need to have that more prominently on our website and on some of the other things that we're hoping to do to try to get new members. Because yes, certainly we are not 40-ish something percent, you know, it changes day to day depending, but 40-something% of us are not Methodist, not United Methodist. So I still have trouble distinguishing those, but anyway, I'll get used to it. But you know, that's where we are, and yeah, very good point. Thank you for bringing that up. Jack, remember that. Okay, that's what was going to happen over the next week and month, and then you will be told what the outcome is, and we'll move forward from there. So now I'm going to ask Charlotte to come forward.